Right, brother.
Rejoice.
Which I pray before thee now, day and night, for the children of Israel thy servants, and confess the sins of the children of Israel.
Now watch this. Watch this. People said you can't pray for the sins of other people. Oh, yes, you can.
God convict them. Yes.
Me too.
He said, they have sinned against you, O God,
Yes.
Yeah.
and they have been in captivity.
Yes.
But now you have relieved them, released them. Let me tell you something. God is releasing some people. Are we going after them?
Jesus. Yes, Jesus. Yes, Jesus.
Say amen.
Amen.
Right,
Do you know there's some people waiting on you to come and get them?
Just go get them.
They can't get back on their own. They don't know what. The devil lies to them, Sister Anna. The devil lies and tells them, oh, don't you go back over there.
Come on, bro.
You brought so much embarrassment. But God needs a Nehemiah that will stand up and go after his people. Say amen.
Hey.
There were some people of Faith Tabernacle came after me. They came after me. They called me. They came after me. I'm here to tell you we need somebody to go after somebody. Rejoice.
The sins of the children of Israel which we have sinned against thee, both I and my father's house have sinned.
Watch this.
We have dealt very corruptibly against thee, and have not kept the commandments, nor the statutes, nor the judgments, which thou commandest thy servant Moses.
Now listen, he's putting it all in there. Number two, he hears the bad news.
Yes.
The call falls on him,
Yes.
but he's got to get the sin away from him.
Yes, yes.
He's asking for forgiveness.
Yeah.
What is so hard to ask for forgiveness?
Right, brother.
He says, God, forgive them. But don't only forgive them. See, we want for God to forgive everybody else, but we want to hold everything that we've done inside of us.
Yes, Lord, forgive us.
God's expecting us to repent also.
Yes, Lord, forgive us.
Absolutely, yes.
Look at somebody and say, God, forgive me.
God forgive me.
If there's anybody here tonight that you've said anything against, you've got an ought against, or maybe you've hurt, you need to go to them and say, I want to apologize to you.
Amen.
Forgive me.
If you've done anything that would harm the church or bring hurt to the church, you need to go to that person and say, please forgive me, I was wrong.
Yes.
Please
It takes
forgive
more
me.
of a man to ask for forgiveness.
Yes, it does.
Nehemiah said, they've not only sinned God, but I've sinned also. I've been lazy. I've sinned against you.
Yeah.
Watch this. Number one, he hears the bad news. The call falls on him. Number two, he prays for forgiveness.
Lord, forgive us.
Yes.
Prays for forgiveness. Read verse, where are you at, Joyce?
Verse 8.
Read.
Remember, I beseech thee, the word that thou commandest thy servant Moses, saying, if you transgress, I will scatter you abroad among the nations.
Listen to me. There's some people that have transgressed and they have been scattered
Oh, yes.
across Marion, North Carolina.
Yeah.
They have transgressed against the laws of God, the commandments of God, and they have been scattered. God said, I will scatter you
Yes.
if you transgress against my word. But I like this. God doesn't leave you out there.
No.
He said, if you don't obey my commandments, I'll scatter you. But go ahead, Joyce.
But if you turn unto me,
If you turn unto me, how are they going to turn?
yes,
You've got a lot to do with that.
yes,
Yeah.
you do.
If you will turn unto me, what?
And keep my commandments, and do them,
And do them.
though there were of you cast out unto the uttermost part of the heaven, yet will I gather them from thence, and will bring them unto the place that I have chosen to set my name there.
Look at somebody say, there's some people that needs to be gathered back in this place.
Get it back in here.
Amen.
There's some people away from Faith Tabernacle that needs to be gathered back in. They need to come back.
Yes.
But God's looking for you to go find them.
Oh, yes.
Sometimes embarrassment will cause you to stay in the closet. Even though you want God to forgive you and you want to get back to your right standing, you're embarrassed. Some people are embarrassed to come back. But let me tell you something. I don't care what anybody's done. I don't care what they've transgressed again. I don't care what they've done. If they come and ask for forgiveness, you open your arms and you love them back. You love them. You love them. I don't care what they've done to you. I don't care what they've said about you. I don't care what they've done to the church. You open up your arms and say, we're so glad to see you.
Yes. Amen.
God wants to restore back. He wants to gather back
Yes.
His people.
Yes.
He wants to bring them back in.
Watch this. Joyce, I can't go through all of this. I don't have the time. But I want you to read this. Chapter 2. Now, God said, if you'll turn from your ways, I'll bring you back.
Yes.
Let me tell you something. There's some people out there that the devil's not going to keep. He's just not going to keep them. God's going to turn them loose.
Amen.
Say amen.
Amen.
Say amen.
Amen.
Chapter 2 and verse 6. Well, I tell you what, why don't you read this, Joyce? Why don't you read verse 3? Start with verse 3.
And the king said unto the king, let the king live forever. Why should not my countenance be sad when the city, the place of my father's sepulchres, lieth waste, and the gates thereof are consumed with fire?
I couldn't read all of that. I didn't have the time. But if you back up, he had a problem with... We're not taking a whole lot more time. But let's just pray. We need to pray.
We need to pray. Come on, let's pray. You can't kneel.
If you can't kneel, just stand. Oh God, you see our unconcernedness.
This work is of you, God.
Maybe we're somewhat concerned, but just not enough concerned.
Let us be concerned.
Maybe, God, we're just settled and satisfied in where we're at. While there's those that are away from here tonight that need to be restored back to your house. We see, God, the people that have left here, that we know that should be back here tonight. God, maybe we just haven't been concerned like we should have. But God, first of all, we ask you to forgive us, oh God. Oh God, forgive us. Forgive us, God, where we have sinned against you. Forgive us, God, where we have been slack. We've not been concerned like we should have. Oh God, forgive us. God, first of all, we've got to get sin out of us. We've got to get this away from us. Then we can go after those.
Working for my Lord. I'll be somewhere. Working, I'll be somewhere. Working, I'll be somewhere. Working for my Lord.
Be someone praying.
Oh, I'll be somewhere. Praying, I'll be somewhere. Praying, I'll be somewhere. Praying to my Lord. I'll be somewhere. Praying, I'll be somewhere. Praying, I'll be somewhere. Praying to my Lord.
Be somewhere preaching.
Oh, I'll be somewhere. Preaching, I'll be somewhere. Preaching, I'll be somewhere. Preaching for my Lord. I'll be somewhere. Preaching, I'll be somewhere. Preaching, I'll be somewhere. Preaching for my Lord.
We got to start staying just a few minutes. We got to start in here clearing the land. That highway or that street, 2-lane street, wasn't down there. There's oak trees. Never had been open. This had been designated up here in a right of way, but it hadn't been opened up. Poison oak, Jack, Martha, on these oak trees.